I had left everything behind when I signed those divorce papers 2 years ago. Even Selena's lies about the apartment. We argued over everything, including the silver vehicle I used to drive. I started again in a modest one-story house in a quiet neighborhood. The lawn was untidy and the coffee maker always needed a firm slap before it worked, but it was peaceful. And after everything I'd been through, peace was gold. The day started like any other. I had just gotten back from the gym, sweat still, sticking to my shirt when the knock came, not the kind of knock you get when a neighbor wants to borrow sugar. This one was pointed, purposeful, loud enough to make me freeze mid-step. I glanced through the peephole. Blue and red lights flashed. Behind 2 figures. My heart dropped. When I saw the uniforms, my mind raced. Unpaid tickets? Mistaken identity? Wrong house? I opened the door cautiously. "Can I help you?" I asked. One of the officers stepped forward, bigger than the other. "Are you Leo Carter?" he asked. "Yes." "Sir, before we go any further, a child was found, left in a car. That vehicle is still registered in your name. We need you to come with us." I froze. "A child?" I stammered. "No, that's not possible. I don't have a child." The officer's tone didn't change. "I'm sorry, sir, but you'll need to come to the station. You're listed as the vehicle's legal owner. Until we sort this out, you're under arrest," I tried to explain. That car had been Selena's since the divorce. I hadn't touched it in years. I even said, "Check the paperwork," but it didn't matter. I was cuffed on my own doorstep, under the glare of daylight. Neighbors peeked through their windows. A woman walking her dog stopped mid-step. And me? I just stared at the ground through the police cruiser's window. At the station, I sat in a room under flickering fluorescent lights. My wrists ached from the cuffs. An officer slid a manila folder across the table. The child was found in a silver 2008 sedan, still registered to you. I shook my head, trying to concentrate. "Selena took that car," I muttered. "She said she'd transfer the title. Why would she leave a child in it?" The officer leaned back. "We took the kid to the ER. Mild. Dehydration, some bruises. Scared, but okay. His name's Jaden. It was on a tag in his bag." Jaden. I didn't know that name. Not really. Not then. My mind was reeling. After what felt like hours, they finally let me go. But not before making it clear that I wasn't off the hook. "You're still involved, Mr. Carter," they said, "until we have more answers." I stepped into the evening. Air, hot and heavy. My phone buzzed. 12 missed calls. Voicemails from unknown numbers and one from Selena's mother. I ignored them all and drove straight to the hospital. I wasn't allowed past the pediatric ward doors, but that name, Jaden, it echoed in my mind like a song I couldn't place. A nurse eventually walked me down a hallway filled with cartoon murals. It smelled like antiseptic and sadness. I didn't know what to expect, but what I saw, he was so small, maybe 4 or 5, sitting up in a hospital bed in an oversized t-shirt, wavy hair, tear stains on his cheeks, eyes locked on mine. The second I stepped in, and those eyes, they looked like mine. It was like staring into a smaller, quieter version of myself. "He doesn't say much," the nurse whispered. "Keeps asking for Selena. But when we said your name," he looked up. I stepped closer, swallowing hard. "Hey, buddy," I said gently. "My name's Leo." He blinked, didn't speak, just looked. "I don't know what's going on," I whispered. "But I'm going to find out." The machines beeped. The air smelled like sanitizer. But that moment felt real, painfully real. If this boy was who I feared he might be. The nurse leaned in again. "He's stable, just a little dehydrated. No broken bones, but he keeps asking for his mom." "Selena?" I asked. She hesitated. "That's the name he uses. You know her?" "Yeah," I murmured. "I know her." The nurse handed me a clipboard and motioned toward the room. I stepped back in slowly. Jaden sat with his knees to his chest, picking at a thread on the blanket. Then he looked up, and it hit me like a truck. His jaw, his nose, his eyes. I sat beside him, my voice barely a whisper. "My name is Leo." He blinked, slowly nodded. "Your name's Jaden, right?" Another small nod. "My mom picked it," he whispered. I nearly gasped. Selena had once said the same name. Years ago, back when we still talked about kids. Back when she joked our son would have. My crooked smile and her thick black hair. I glanced at the nightstand. Juice box, crackers, a stuffed lion someone had tried to comfort him with. But it wasn't enough. "You were in a car," I said. "Do you remember?" His little face twisted. He said nothing, just gripped the blanket tighter. "That's okay," I said gently. "You don't have to talk about it." "I was hot," he mumbled. "I cried, but no one came." My throat tightened. "I'm sorry, Jaden. You didn't deserve that." Then he looked up at me. "Do you know my mom?" I nodded slowly. "Yeah. A long time ago we—" "Are you my dad?" he asked. The words hit harder than anything. I couldn't lie. I couldn't promise. All I could do was tell the truth. "I don't know yet, Jaden, but I'll find out." He looked down, not sure whether to be relieved or afraid. Maybe both. I didn't touch him, just rested my hand near his blanket. "You're not alone anymore," I said quietly. "I'm here, okay?" The nurse returned to check on him. And then, something I'll never forget. Jaden reached out. He tugged gently on my sleeve, like he wanted me to stay, and I did. In that hard plastic chair, with a sore back and 100 questions, because no matter what came next, that boy's name was Jaden, and my life had just changed forever. He looked at me without saying anything, smiled without losing his temper, just those big brown eyes staring directly at me. Then, after a long pause, he asked, "Does that mean I can stay with you forever?" I nodded, my eyes burning. "Yes, that's precisely what it means." He leaned closer and wrapped his arms around my neck, not saying another word, but saying everything in that small, certain gesture. It gave me chills. It wasn't loud or dramatic, but in that moment, everything changed. Became his. Not just a man looking for answers. There was no going back. I didn't know how to be a father. Most days, I barely knew how to be an adult. My flat wasn't made for kids. Jagged edges, cables tangled under every piece of furniture. The guest room was storage, blank walls. The fridge had more alcohol than groceries. The only kid-friendly thing in the entire place? A dusty copy of the Lion King DVD.